I've been talking to you about Joseph. We've been doing a character study on him. And in this study, we have been talking about the plan of God. We've been talking about the promises of God. And we've been talking about the process that Joseph found himself in. That process is the place between the promise that God's spoken and the realization of the plan where it comes to reality. Anything in between those two things is the process. And that's where you and I find ourselves today in our lives. We ask a question pretty frequently in Christianity. Why do bad things happen to good people? The better way to ask that question is this: how do good people respond when bad things happen to them? We see this in Joseph. He's a good man. Bad things happen, and we get to learn a lot about how we should be responding to difficult circumstances. It isn't that bad things are happening to good people. It's that bad things happen, and good people handle them correctly. In everything that happened in Joseph's life, he honored God. He honored the plan that God had for his life. The lesson from Joseph, I think, is simple. In your life, do what pleases God. Today, I want to talk to you about something that we all understand, and it has great power for taking you out of the groove and taking you out of the process. I want to talk to you about what it's like when you are forgotten, when you are deliberately overlooked, when somebody looks at you and they don't think that you're important. We're going to look at Joseph today, and we're going to watch him be forgotten. We're going to watch him get overlooked deliberately, and we're going to watch how he handles that. Joseph is given a track record of success, as a matter of fact. And we're going to see that there's success attributed to this young man, both in Potiphar's house, now in the prison. The thing that stays consistent while the situations are changing is God is with him, he is given favor, and he has success. The Lord's favor marked every stage of Joseph's life. So Joseph is in the prison. In chapter 40 is going to start, and Joseph is going to run into some more dreams. He's had a couple of dreams, and he got into a little bit of trouble talking about his dreams, and now we're going to see dreams again. And as Joseph is serving and leading in the prison, two new inmates arrive one day, and they're both from the palace. One of them is a cupbearer, and one of them is a baker. They're not average run-of-the-mill kind of prisoners. These are men of position. They're men of responsibility. One oversaw what the Pharaoh ate, and the other oversaw what he drank. And traditionally, the cupbearer was also a confidant. These are powerful men. He notices that these two new inmates don't look right. They look distressed. He notices they're sad. He cares enough to ask them why. And then he gets involved and helps. What a great picture into this young man's heart, who is in a ministry mode even though things are not going well for him. The two men say, "We had dreams, and we don't understand our dreams, and we're sad because nobody can interpret our dreams." Joseph listened to both dreams. He interprets both of them. He has the courage to speak honestly to the men, and he proves right both times. In 3 days, everything will be just as Joseph said it would be. The cupbearer was back to work, and the baker was executed. God provided these dreams. What does this have to do with Joseph? This has to do a lot with Joseph because God has spoken to Joseph through dreams. And there's a significant point here that I don't want you to miss about God talking to you. He's going to speak to Joseph in a way that Joseph understands. He's going to say something from this cupbearer and this baker that will get Joseph's attention, and he will recognize this as an opportunity from God, and he will point to God in this opportunity. Joseph interprets both of these dreams, and he was right. He looked at people that were having a bad day, and he helped them, and he was right. He served perfectly in the prison. He was right. But this guy's going to get treated wrong one more time. The cupbearer is proven innocent. The charges are dropped. He's restored to his position. All the while, there's an innocent man in the prison, and the cupbearer forgets him. The cupbearer probably forgot Joseph because he was afraid. Or maybe it was because he was selfish. Or maybe it was because he was apathetic. But whatever it was, he made a deliberate decision not to talk about Joseph when things were going well for him. And in Genesis 40:14, Joseph says this to the cupbearer, "When all goes well with you, remember me and show me kindness. Mention me to Pharaoh and get me out of this prison." And this young guy in prison will be forgotten. He's going to be there for 2 more years. He's been there for 11 years between Potiphar's house and this prison experience, and 2 more full years will pass since he helped the cupbearer. Once again, Joseph is treated unfairly. God's not done with dreams. He's not done talking to this man. Just because the cupbearer forgets doesn't mean that God's going to disengage. God keeps speaking the same language to Joseph that he understands. God simply moves the whole game onto a bigger ball field. Now, Pharaoh will have a dream. The king of Egypt will have a dream. And the dream is not as significant in this part of the story as the fact that the Lord was still with Joseph, the Lord was still giving him success, the Lord was still speaking to him, and he did not quit on the plan that he had for this young man's life. God is committed to the process, and he's still working for the purpose of seeing his will fulfilled. So when you're forgotten, when you're overlooked, when you're deliberately looked around, what do you do? What do you do when you've been forgotten? You see, the way you handle these moments will either qualify you or disqualify you for opportunities tomorrow. The way you handle the todays of your life has very much to do with what you get to do tomorrow. You are qualifying or disqualifying right now for the opportunities that God wants to bring to you. So Joseph did a great job handling this period of time, and another incredible opportunity is on his way. And this one will not include slavery, it will not include prison bars, and it will not include being sold. This one is going to be a promotion. It's going to include power and recognition. And I want to give you 3 things, just quickly in closing, that Joseph did when he was forgotten. The first thing is that he did not allow bitterness to enter his soul. The second thing, that Joseph did not turn from God, but to God. And the last thing, Joseph waited. These difficult seasons come to a close. These difficult seasons end. The goal is not to destroy the potential of the next season by mishandling the events of this season in our lives. Waiting will always include ministry. It's active, it's not passive when we wait on the Lord. There will always be a cupbearer. There will always be a baker, somebody that you can reach out and minister to even in a difficult time in your own life. Waiting on the Lord, waiting for the deliverance of the Lord is never just twiddling your thumbs. Joseph continued doing the job at hand with excellence. He never stopped doing what was right, even when things got difficult, unfair, or unbearable. Nothing can stop the plan of God. Nothing on this planet, nothing that happens to you or to me or to us can stop the plan of God from being realized. It will happen, and you can make it. Regardless of where you've been or what you're going through or who has overlooked you, you can make it. You can do it. You can see the plan of God realized in your life.